I'm very curious. As a startup founder myself, I'm curious how you guys started.
Great question. um, so actually our story begins, so our story, basically the story of Harsh and me begins 5 years ago, actually. So we
Yeah,
met on on a very unromantic way, to be honest, because I was, from the days, I was an IT consultant. And I was searching for a dude who knew something with AI. I went on Upwork. Then I did a job post there. Harsh applied with his software development company.
yeah,
I scouted him. He did the best proposal after all. And yeah, after the project was successfully delivered to the client, yeah, we stayed somehow in contact, became friends. And 2.5 years ago, he asked me, what do I think of a Skype? Back in the days, we used Skype, right?
yeah,
What if we could use something like a Skype for tech support, but at the end it's done by a bot, and where you don't need to explain what problem you have, and somehow the Skype is answering your questions automatically. I said, yeah, sounds crazy, but hey, let's give it a try.
yeah,
So I helped him validating this idea, because I mean, he's from India. I found some connections here in Germany. And then, somehow one day he asked me if I want to be a co-founder. I said, okay, does it make sense? Because we are thousands of miles away, right?
yeah,
But I give it a chance. We gave it a chance, and we could very quickly convince two major companies. So one insurance company,
yeah,
one mobility company, our biggest road assist club in Germany, ADAC. And they said, hey guys, what you actually pitching to us, it's quite interesting. So
yeah,
yes, automation of tech support is something we are looking in, and automation of claims, so for insurances, is also
yeah,
what we are looking in. So let's give it a thing. We did pilots, rest is history, right? And after 2.5 years, based on, due to COVID, we really have backwind, and promising
yeah.
future, I would say, right now. So that's the short story, how we met, how BlinkIn is. So long
So
story, right?
it's I think this is one of the better Upwork stories I've heard, actually.
Yeah.
As
No,
not many,
experience with Upwork
it's
as well, right?
very few people that fall professionally in love in at Upwork. So cool. But your so BlinkIn is really targeting all major industries that are looking for support.
That's our problem, right? So we are in talks with some VCs, and they say, guys, your go-to-market, wow, right? What do you not do, right? And whom do
Yeah,
you not try to help? I
yeah,
said, yeah, hey, we are trying to give people visual guidance. So at the end, we don't care what the use case is. That's right now we are in the exploration phase. Yes, we see some more quick wins, but for us, everywhere where people could really, a person, a bot is
yeah,
looking over your shoulder and guiding you. And I mean, in our pitch, maybe people have seen before, it's really about building IKEA furniture,
yeah,
telling you what to do, what not to do, kind of a smart YouTube tutorial using computer vision,
yeah,
understanding the situation. If the screw is already screwed in or missing, trying
yeah,
to understand that and really guide people step by step solving the problem, right? So we have B2B use cases. We're exploring B2B2C use cases. Right now, nothing can be actually too challenging, right? So
no,
I said, from insurance to enterprises to small companies, because one of the questions we ask ourselves is, okay, how much data do we need in order to really start also for use cases which are not there in thousands or millions of data sets, kind of. In that phase we are right now. I said,
yeah, yeah,
investors don't like it, but we are quite confident that we are in the
yeah, yeah.
right way doing so.
Yeah, and you can take a broad scope in right now, and then you might be able to do more
Absolutely.
niched verticals later on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to the audience here, because it's 20 people watching, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat. We are having a Swedish Fika here together with Josef Sus, with one of the co-founders of BlinkIn. But Josef, in terms of that, the business model, how do you define your business model?
So we have two sides on our product, right? And also see the question of Benedict, and coming to that is also business model related. So on the one hand, we are a visual collaboration platform. So imagine here a Zoom where people can connect, companies can connect with their customers, for example, web-based on a single link click, right? And this is boring SaaS, actually, right? So, but this visual collaboration platform is actually our data generation channel. And once we have figured out what use cases the company is facing and what the customers of their customers having problem with, because somehow they don't know it, we can generate data over that platform because they are sending videos, they are sending pictures, we have live recordings of this remote support tech into activities, and then it's about, can we automate that after we understood what's going on, right? And this automation is basically not a pay-per license like the SaaS product what we offer, it's pay-per usage, right? So it's of course coming back to Benedict's question, who creates the content? Right now it's us creating the content, but on the longer vision it's about creating a no-code / low-code editor that companies and maybe other developers are able to create, we call that visual flows, the step-by-step guidance on their own. So it's a little bit about democratizing computer vision and make it really idiot-proof in a way, right?
Yeah, really cool. So when did you start?
2.5 years ago, actually, right? So this is kind of where we said, hey, now we have the validation, the belief, the trust in our team, in us, and based on the feedback of big corporates about, hey guys, let's give it a try. I mean, this was also the first money coming in, paid pilots, not just only POC, unpaid. So people starting making some bets on us, and this was, even if it was small money, 25K here, 25K there, it gives us runway, room to breathe, that we could say, hey, no more side jobs, no more consulting, no more third-party development for other startups and whatever. Really focus on that, and So.
And how is it working remotely for you guys? How big is the team now?
We are 15 people right now, looking for new people. How it's working remotely. So for us, it was never ever complicated to do so, because I mean, Harsh and the rest of the team, they were used to it because they were always working with Western corporates. So they knew how to deliver and stay in contact, right, with people thousands and over miles away, and also time zone wise. But I also want to be honest, it would be cool sometimes, but COVID also is not about to go on a beer in the afternoon, right? So I mean, I did not see the dudes now for 11 months now. Last time I was there in December. I miss them, right? And having this personal relationship is for sure what I miss. But we're a remote support company, selling remote support, selling self-service to customers. So no complaints about not being physically in a room, because it's part of our value proposition. But we are social people and want to have fun and enjoy some successes. You do this better in person with a beer, physically sitting next to each other, instead of having Zoom calls on a Friday night about, hey, whatever, right? So
and for the customers you already have contracts with, are those is it German customers, or are you already international?
All over the world, right? So I mean, and that's also how the world is. We are really fans of get your borders away in your head, right? For example, we have a German customer, international one, but we do business with them in Singapore, right? But it's and we are dealing, so that's our, if we have a beachhead market, so first filter is about, do you want to be service champion in your industry? Yes, in an ideal case, they're international in a way that they have subsidiaries and have language problems, have a lot of volume on tickets, and so totally open and really serving global international companies worldwide. So we don't care if they are German or from India, from Singapore or US.
No.
So we are active right now in 48 countries, right? So
48.
48, yeah. So that's where we are used, right? And
Ooh.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
one of our famous success stories actually was that one of our German customers helped installing the air handling units in Wuhan in the emergency hospitals, right? So calling from Lower Bavaria, where I'm from, to Wuhan, one use case, for example, right, where we saw that we have impact with our visual collaboration platform, right? And so,
wow.
yeah.
That's really, really cool. So what's the for you as a smaller company still, but growing, scaling, but what do you see as the biggest challenge working towards bigger enterprises or corporates? And how do you mitigate that?
You mean with big corporates or internally? What do we miss?
No, with big corporates. So what's the biggest challenges?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real, right? Insurance companies, especially, they have sales cycles 12 months plus. Yeah. So, I mean, 12 months for a startup, you know, you pivot maybe 3 times or maybe you're even 5 times dead, right? Within 12 months, right? So long sales cycles for sure. It's challenging sometimes for the innovation department that they understand your problem. Even they have kind of a structure there, their problem, and then they need to pitch you as a startup internally, and they don't find any customers because they are facing then some old mindsets somehow. And it's heavily depending on how mature, I would say, how innovation friendly a corporate is. And we see here a little bit difference between the countries. For example, India, for example, is a little bit more difficult to partner up with. US companies are more open. They are more risk taking, I would say. In Germany, it depends a little bit on the mentality as well. So family-owned businesses, so smaller ones, or even it's a kind of 8,000 full-time employee corporate, but where the founder is or the family is still in charge, they also much quicker, right? But they're more enterprisey they are. It takes ages to really move some things, and you can be prepared as you want and always ask what's next. Things take that time. That's what you just have to understand and play it smart somehow, right? And have multiple ways into the one company maybe, because you're approaching that department and see what the end is, the fast track. But so far, it's a marathon with some corporates for sure, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask that if you have some tactics in how to mitigate that and speeding up the process. But that's good, targeting several departments. I think we have a question there from Benedict again. Democratizing of the content is obviously the key to hyperscale. How are you thinking about tackling that?
Answering that with your question of business models before, you mean freemium is the way to go for, or having a good product in place, right? I mean, if the product is self-explanatory somehow, if you can use it without having training, if it's even free for some certain extent, and if you can create a viral growth loop around your editor, your no-code platform, or how we call it, then I think that's the first steps you have to understand. And it's definitely on our roadmap. Right now, because of limited resources, we are focusing more on a top-down approach where we try to convince the service head, for example, which then or who's then trying to sell us internally in the company and force people to use us, right, or to work with us, right? But we for sure looking at a model like Dropbox, or which is kind of the blueprint for being viral everywhere, right? Because you have a good product, right? And so did this answer your question, Benedict?
But where do you see, working globally in 48 countries, where do you see they are more tech adopted? Do you see the processes going faster in anywhere in the world?
It's not Germany. So that's for sure not Germany, unfortunately, right? Because but to be honest, we are surprised how tech savvy Brazil is. We don't know why, but we see it multiple times now that Brazil is somehow a good place to be. UK is, I mean, that's not a surprise that they are more towards innovations. I have some backgrounds in e-commerce. It said that they are 5 years ahead. What's about technology adoption is. So we also see that. And also India on the user side. I mean, when I tell always the story is when people ask me how is India, I said, yeah, I could buy a chai latte or a chai tea, whatever, in Bitcoin over mobile phone, no problem, right? Everywhere, right? And in Germany, it's even hard to pay with credit cards if you want to have a chewing gum at a gas station or so. But they say, no, we don't do that here, right? So developing countries, emerging countries who were able to do a leapfrog, right? There we see for sure higher adoption of our product, compared to Germany.
Yeah, and I totally agree there. My first time in India, or spending a lot of time in India, was 3 years ago. I went there to look at the innovation hub in New Delhi, and I was so baffled by that you could pay with mobile everywhere, like everywhere. And you were somewhere at some places you were forced to do that. So I had to get my prepaid card and charge my e-wallet right there, because it was easier. It was so much easier. So
the northern countries, to interrupt you, are also on the same level, right? So I mean, you also pay everything. When I heard with credit cards, right, or with whatever, or even more mobile. But Germany, to be honest, wow, don't start with that. Find that shame, really a shame. But that's diversity, right, at the end, and that's why we're reaching out and added the Swedish Innovation Days maybe at the end, right?
Exactly.
In order to get out of our own filter bubble.
So Joseph, it's been an honor to meet you, and I love the idea behind BlinkIn. What do people do if they want to know more about BlinkIn?
Just drop me a line, right? So joseph@blinkin.io. Happy to help anybody with these questions. Follow us on LinkedIn. There's probably the best way to stay up to date what's going on with BlinkIn, but really happy to connect, put my name in LinkedIn, and let's connect there, and let's collaborate maybe even. So happy to get some things done. All right.
Joseph, thank you so much. I'm happy I got this Swedish Fika with you. It's gonna be back to main stage now, but Joseph, you will still be in the chat. And thank you all of you that attended, and I hope to see you soon again.
Thanks a lot, right? Thanks, Peter, Benedict, for your questions, Jimmy, Magnus, whoever. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.